All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Natty Teacher. I am, of course, your host. Who else but The Natty Teacher? Now, today we are covering the third and final, hey, I'm not trying to overlook it. This was not in order of importance. This is just, the order of, I feel like, how most people place importance on these macronutrients. We're covering the third and final macro, fats. Okay, I would say that it is the most overlooked / underrated of the big three of your macros, of the proteins, protein, carbs, and fats. I'd say it is the number one most underrated and overlooked. Can make or break your physique, man. It really, really can. Whether you have it too high or too low, can make or break your energy levels, your overall physique, your fullness, your flatness. It plays a huge role in your body composition. But let's talk about a few of my favorites. I have 5 in total, and the 5th one is kind of a surprise one. Maybe not the most common. We're going to kind of shift gears at the end a little bit. But let's go through added fats, okay? So these are not in order of importance or quality. These are just the first ones that came to my mind. And there are plenty of other sources of fats. So please find what works for you and get rid of everything else. If something I say doesn't work for you and you try it and you're like, dude, Natty Teacher, you failed your student because this sucks. Disclaimer, it just works for me. So I have no idea if it works for you or not. If it does, awesome. If it doesn't, find something else, Anyways, first fat on the list, avocado. Avocado, love it, man. It is great stuff. It tastes delicious, adds awesome texture to your food. It is a 12 out of 10 added to chicken and rice. It can make plain chicken and rice taste amazing, okay? And you don't need a lot either, 20, 30, 40 odd grams. I've heard of some people doing maybe 50 grams, which is, it's a decent amount, but, probably, just over half of an avocado, so it's not super uncommon. But for me, usually I'm in that 20 to 30 gram range when I add avocado into my meals, and it just completely changes the dynamic of the meal. It's super easy to digest for me. Okay, super easy to digest. I feel more satiated, but in more full, but in a not a bloated type way, in just a more satisfied, oh, that was a good meal kind of way. You know what I mean? So first one, avocado. It's inexpensive to buy, tastes really good. Very nutrient dense as well. That's a big thing with my off season, especially right now as I'm really trying to hone in on nutrient dense foods. Avocado is absolutely one of them. So rock with it for sure. Next up, nut butters, okay? Almond butter, peanut butter, cashew butter, Lord knows all the other different variations of butters they got out there, okay? Nut butters. Here is the simple hack for you to find the best quality nut butters. When you go to Kroger or Meijer or Walmart or Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or wherever you go, make sure you grab that almond butter. We'll use that as an example. And you flip that bad boy around and look at the nutrition facts. And no, I'm not just talking about how many calories it has or how many grams of fat or carbs or protein. That's all important, sure. But look below that, okay, where it says other ingredients. All you should see listed on there, if we're talking about almond butter, for example, is dry roasted almonds. That's it, just almonds. That's it. There should not be any palm oil. There should not be any sort of, sucralose or some sort of added sugar, whether it be natural or artificial, cane sugar or whatever. There shouldn't be anything else. Okay, there should not be anything else. It just should be almonds, dry roasted almonds. Same thing for peanut butter, dry roasted peanuts or peanuts. As my cat is chasing down something. Dang. Wow, just went nuts. So nut butter's awesome, very nutrient dense, especially when it comes to fats. You do not need a ton of, you do not need a ton of almond butter to get a lot of fat in. I think a tablespoon, which is 32 grams, is 17 grams of fat. So that's a hefty chunk, especially if you're somebody on a low-fat diet. Be careful when you're doing that, okay? Make sure you're tracking that stuff. The third one, and it transitions perfectly from nut butter, because it is the basis of nut butter, nuts by themselves. And of course, let's keep it school appropriate here, kids. We are talking about tree nuts, okay? So again, things like almonds and peanuts and walnuts and cashews and even pistachios are a great thing to add in if you want. There is a variety of different nuts that you can eat. Again, keep the mind out of the gutter. There is a variety of different nuts to eat that are going to be perfect snacks. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't eat 6 meals a day. You're just a lifestyle person who's just trying to get in better shape. And you just want a snack to have at work. Pack a few almonds and some fruit. Boom. You had some protein, you had some good fats, and you had some good, easy digesting carbs and sugars. 10 out of 10 choice. 10 out of 10 choice. It's awesome, man, for sure. Okay? So again, Tree nuts are awesome. And for bodybuilders alike, same thing. You add a little bit of that to your meal, it's going to make it feel much more dense. It's going to, essentially, and this could be a pro or a con, so be careful of this. Fats like that absolutely do slow down your digestion and absorption of things like carbohydrates, at least a little bit. So don't just randomly grab a bag of almonds and just just take a couple scoops out of it. You're like, all right, they're almonds, so they're healthy. Track it still, of course. You don't want to go super, super crazy with it. But again, it's a great, great snack to have, a great addition to meals. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. Just be careful of like the Mr. Peanut nuts and stuff where it's like, oh, it's like honey roasted almonds or honey roasted peanuts, and you like turn them around and it's like 40 grams of sugar. It's probably not 40, but a lot of like added sugar that makes them taste really, really good. Just get plain peanuts, plain almonds, whatever. They taste really good, dude. They're awesome. They're really, really good. Mix it in with other things if you want. It's perfect. Okay. After that, we have oils. Okay. So for our fourth one, again, things like spray oils or actual added oils. So you could talk like avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil, whether it be spray or actual liquid, coconut oil, all of these things, MCT oils, if you're big into not just if you're big into keto, but, if you're big into that kind of stuff, it is very, so like macadamia nut oil, it's very, very nutrient dense. Regardless, oils are great. You'll see a lot of bodybuilders, and this is something I don't super delve into myself just because I'm not the biggest fan of this, but it is a great way to do it if you need it. Putting like olive oil, like extra virgin olive oil on your food, awesome. Put it on some chicken and rice or whatever. Guarantee it's going to enhance the flavor tenfold, make it super easy to get down, and you literally just had to pour a little bit of fat on your food. That's it. So it's very broken down. It's not going to slow down digestion as much as something you have to probably consume, like a tree nut or something like that, where you have to actually chew through some sort of shell or something like that to break it down. If it's already liquidized, so to speak, it's probably going to digest really well. So any of those oils, use them to bake if you want. Don't use them to bake. Spray it on your food. Or spray it on a pan to help you, cook stuff or bake stuff with or whatever. Add some olive oil to your food. Add some coconut oil to it. I've heard of people adding coconut oil to their shakes to add fats that way and to get more calories in. Absolutely can do that. Just don't go crazy with it and track it. Actually know what you're getting out of it. Don't just take a thing of, for example, coconut oil or something. You got, I have 2 bananas and, 3 tablespoons of peanut butter and 2 scoops of whey protein and, 2 cups of oats, and now I'm just dousing it with coconut oil. It's like you probably just consumed, 150 grams of fats. And you had no idea because you're just kind of, like, oh, this is a rough estimate. No, I'm just going to put it in there. Track it, man. Don't be dumb. Track it. Okay, you got this. You got this. And last but not least, I'm going to throw a curveball in here because this is not an added fat. The fats that come from your food, okay? The first thing that pops into my mind when I think of food and healthy fats is a cut of fish that we know as salmon. Salmon is phenomenal. It's so nutrient dense, man. It is the steak of the sea. It is delicious. You can cook it up a million different ways. Salmon by itself, plain, is just phenomenal. But you can just do a million different things with it. But here's the caveat to it, okay? And with anything here, your food, I promise you, your food has more fat in it than you think. Like, even I know, and it's a little bit different because I trim it, but a lot of people, if you just go to the store and you buy chicken breast off the shelf and you just bake it or air fry it or whatever, maybe chop it up and air fry whatever, like, yes, that's a great choice. But if you notice all that white stuff around it, that is that fat that you should pre-cut off. And even if you still trim your chicken breast, I guarantee you are still getting some fats from the actual chicken breast. So account for that, okay? People, again, I feel like when people track chicken, all they're focused on is how many calories is it and how many grams of protein is it, and they forget that it has fat in there as well. So obviously stuff like red meat, I feel like people are more keen to know that and be like, yeah, it's definitely fat, and I can see it. I can see the fat on this, okay, and see the marbleization in there. But make sure that you are tracking and keeping a hold and keeping, privy to the fact that the foods you eat have fats in them. Even something like oats. Like, I have a cup of oats in my morning. Like, I have, 80 grams of oats as part of my second meal. And I track the fat in. It's like 5 grams of fat. You know what I mean? It's like 2.5 grams per half cup. So it's like I add that into my daily fat intake. I'm not just using that as carbs and protein. Like I'm tracking the fats in that as well. So even in a lot of your carb sources, be leery and make sure that you are tracking the fats in there as well. I promise you, it will only be to your benefit. So, anyways, that's all I got. Tomorrow, I don't know, probably some sort of surprise video. I'm not sure. I have yet to pick a topic. But now that we're done with the macronutrient breakdown series of my favorite proteins, carbs, and fats, I'm not sure which direction we're going to go tomorrow. It's exciting. It's cool. But Sunday, again, make sure you stay in tune Sunday with me. Okay. I'm excited. I get back into the gym, dude. I have been chomping at the bit to get back into the gym. I could have just gotten back into the gym now, but I wanted to give myself just that little bit over a full week off. Let my body completely heal. I can feel my body and some nagging stuff that I had just literally just disappear. My energy levels have increased. My mental and physical clarity has gotten so much better coming off of competing and that prolonged prep that I was in. Like everything has just gotten better, and I can just feel that fullness, a little bit of bloat, not really bloat, but a little bit of, a little bit of that fluff. I'm definitely not, completely depleted, that's for sure. But I'm still doing 7 days a week of cardio right now, just half hour in the mornings. I actually upped the resistance a little bit on that, it just wasn't challenging enough for me. And now that I have way more energy from eating a substantial amount more food, I gotta up the intensity a little bit, because it just wasn't even a challenge. I was breezing through my cardio too easy, so I upped the resistance a little bit, and that felt good. But anyways, yeah, very excited to get back into the gym though and run my new split. I'll be showing you guys some of the new exercises that I'm going to be doing. Of course, just make sure you tune in the rest of the week and on Sunday. And also, if you're seeing this, go join this is something new. Go join my Reddit community. It's literally called The Natty Teacher, capital T, capital N, capital T in the first letter of all three of those words. No spaces, no underscore, nothing like that. It's just called The Natty Teacher. And it's just a forum. So instead of like YouTube comments, which I want to, of course, have you guys still have, and I don't get a ton of them yet, still every once in a while I do. But I wanted to have another open forum for people to ask any questions that maybe if they don't feel super comfortable asking on YouTube, they could ask, on Reddit if you follow along with Reddit. So check out my subreddit, my community at The Natty Teacher, where I'll answer any and all questions that you guys put in, especially right now during summer break when I have, moments during the day where I'm available. I'm usually checking Reddit, scrolling through, answering questions, making comments. I just enjoy it. It's a fun thing for me. So anyways, yeah. So make sure if you have yet to subscribe that you do subscribe. Only helps my algorithm, and obviously the more traction that I gain, the more motivated I am to pump out more content on the daily basis. So hopefully you enjoy the video. For today though, I am the Natty Teacher, and school is out. I'll see y'all tomorrow.